Hello, folks. Welcome to the Mindset Artistry Podcast. I'm your host, Dave DiPaolo. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the Mindset Movement. This is episode number 19. I appreciate you being on this journey. Today, we are going to talk about the difference between failing and being a failure. Lots of times, these two things get very confused and misunderstood, and they get looked at the same way in the same light, and they are very, very different. And I'm going to explain why. So I do talk about this a lot. I talk about failing, fear of failure. My last few podcasts have been about this because this is something I'm very adamant about. I feel like a lot of people are not living to their true potential. A lot of people are very afraid of failure, so they'll never actually go out there and try something and try to be great at something. And that's not good. It's an epidemic, and that'll keep you right there at average or less. And I say that all the time. So if you want to be above average, if you want to win, if you want to be a champion, you have to embrace failure. You have to understand it. But these things get confused a lot, and just because you fail at something, you are not a failure at life, okay? And you have to understand that, and when you do, it will make you better. I have a great quote, I don't know it exactly, from Thomas Edison, where he said, I have not failed, I just found 10,000 ways for this not to work, or it won't work, something like that. And he's talking about, creating the light bulb. And look, I'm more of a Nikola Tesla kind of guy when it comes to this stuff, but this is a great quote, and it's so true. Think about it. If Thomas Edison quit at the, let's say 9,999th time before he made the actual light bulb work, then we wouldn't have light until later on in life. And look at how much of an advancement of technology that was for the human society, for the human race, and how much light, how important it is in our in everything that we do. But that's the thing with these people who have invented things, or people who are athletes or entrepreneurs, and anyone who wants to create something or accomplish something great. They're not afraid of failure. They're not afraid to fail so that they can learn from it and get better and come back and do it again better, so that they do succeed and they do accomplish whatever it is that they try to do. So you have to fail to win, right? And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Those failures, they define, how you are going to, behave afterwards. Like, what's your response going to be to failure? Are you going to let it defeat you? Or are you going to let that failure, keep you right there and make you afraid to go out there and try to do it again? Or is it going to make you want to look at what you did wrong and come back and do it better, right? That's the right way. So you can have these little micro failures in life. Micro failures is a great way to look at it, because it's such a small part of your life. You could fail at something really small that you're trying to do, trying to win, trying to accomplish, and then it's how you respond and how you react that really matters, right? So some people might lose at something or fail at something and then never do it again, right? And it defeated them so bad that they didn't want to ever do it again, right? But the winners, the champions, the best that ever did it, the legends, the icons, whatever failures that they had in their life, they look at that, and I say this all the time, people call losses, I call them lessons, okay? Those L's are lessons. But these people that are the best that ever did it, whatever they failed at, they look at that, and then they look at it as a lesson, okay? And they say, all right, well, that didn't work that time, but what do I need to do to fix it? What do I need to do differently? What other tools do I need? Do I need to educate myself more? Do I need to be stronger? Do I need to work on this? Or I need to do this differently? Whatever it is, they go back and they fix it, and they try again. They might fail again. They try again. They try again. They try again. They keep doing it until they actually succeed. And that's what a lot of people are lacking, okay? That mental fortitude to go out there and continue to try to work hard at something that you really, really want in life. And knowing that you may not get it again, you may not do it again, but knowing that you're not going to stop until you do, okay? So you have to learn from those failures, and those failures that you go through in life will make you successful. If you listen to anyone who has accomplished anything great in their life, they will tell you this. Like, this is plain and simple. For myself, I have learned so much from my failures in life. I have failed at so many things in my life, and I've accomplished some pretty good things in my life, and I'm far from over. It's far from over and far from finished from what I want to do and what my goals that I have and my targets that I have set. But each time I fail at something, each time I come up short, each time there's something that I, didn't do as well as I wanted to, I learn from it. You have to do that. You have to learn from it. You have to take what you can out of that and then get better, plain and simple. So you need to learn from it, you need to fix it, and then you need to do better. I mean, that's just plain and simple. It's how you win in life, okay? And you can also use it as motivation. And, because, a big part of people being afraid of failure is that they are so afraid of what other people are going to say. And they're so afraid of what other people are going to think. And because of that, they may not try to do it again, or they may not have ever started to try to do something for that reason, okay? I like to use that as motivation. People who tell me that I can't do something, people that told me I should have never tried to do something, people that want to, talk poorly about me because I failed at something or I came up short of something, that's motivation to me. I'm going to prove them wrong, and I'm going to prove myself right, okay? That's motivation. That's a motivation that some people will never understand, and that's okay. So here's a good example. Michael Jordan, right? And he has another great quote. I might butcher just a little bit because I don't know it exactly, but he said, I've missed 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost like 300 games. 30 times my team trusted me to take the game-winning shot, and I came up short. But I keep trying again, and because of all those failures is why I succeed. And he's arguably the best basketball player ever, right? So, I mean, at least top 3, whoever you're talking to. But if you go back and watch The Last Dance, he used to create enemies. He would create people, even though if they didn't say something to him, or they did not disrespect him in any kind of way, he would make up this thing in his head that they did, or that they said something bad about him, or they were his enemy, just so he can go out there and have extra motivation, extra fire to just crush him in a game, drop 40, kill them, win the series, whatever it is. So he created these enemies in his head, even though they didn't even exist, because that gave him extra motivation. So you could look at it that way. When someone is a naysayer, they're telling you shouldn't do something, or projecting their BS on you, their fear of failure on you, you can use that as motivation and say, hey, yeah, like this person's saying this, or this person's afraid to do this, or this person won't do this, but I will, and I'm going to prove them wrong. And no matter what they say, one day the finish line is, the championship is, one day they're going to look at me and be like, you know what? Dave was right. Man, I should have never doubted him or her or whoever, right? That's what it's all about. When you can use that as motivation, that's important. So whatever your situation is, whoever you are, whether it's sports, whether it's something that you're trying to accomplish in a career, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're trying to invent something, whether you're trying to be, you're trying to be the first to ever do something, whether you're a man, whether you're a female, or anything else, you need to understand that you can use this as motivation. Use your failures as motivation, and use all the naysayers as motivation, okay? It will fuel you, it will drive you, it will light a fire under your butt. Super important. So another thing is, you're not your past. And this is where we fall into this a lot. When people, get beat down, when people fail at a lot of things, when they come up short, when they, just haven't been able to get it done, to accomplish the things that they want to accomplish, that can take a toll on people, okay? It can hurt people. It can make you get stuck. It could make you be afraid to actually put yourself out there and try to get something done, because you're so fearful that it's just not going to work, and you don't want to fail again. You just can't handle it anymore. Or you get discouraged about yourself, right? You lose confidence. You look at yourself poorly. You say, hey, I failed at all these things. I'm just not good enough. I'm a failure. I'm this, I'm that. You're not, okay? Those different things, those little micro failures, like I said, that's not who you are. That's who you were, okay? That's who you were in the past. You may have failed at some certain things, but it's not who you are. That does not make you a failure at life, okay? Yeah, you failed at some things, but you are not a failure, okay? At any point in your life, at any age in your life, you can change your life. You have to make the right changes, and then the results change, okay? So yeah, you may have failed in those different situations, in your past. But like I said, you got to look back at them and you got to learn from them, and then you got to get better. And at any moment, you could change the complete trajectory of your life and your family's life because you made the right positive changes to go out there and actually accomplish what you want to do. And it doesn't matter how old you are. I think Colonel Sanders didn't make KFC until he was like 85 years old or something like that. At any point in your life, no matter how old you are, you can make the right changes in your life and go out there and get what you want and do what you want to do, as long as you have the mindset that you are not going to quit and you are going to get it done no matter what anyone says, no matter what odds are stacked against you, and you're going to get it done. And I say this all the time, because people will play the victim card, and people will have that victimhood mentality, and they'll say, oh, well, I had, my situation's different. I have all this stacked against me, and I can't do this because, and they make excuses, right? And they make everyone else the villain, and then at that point, guess what? You already failed. But you can't do that, right? You have to understand that if there's people out there who came from less, had it worse than you, came from worse situations than you, and they accomplished it, then surely you can, right? Because there are people out there who have came from sickening, awful situations in their life, and they used that to fuel them and fire them up to get done and get themselves out of that situation and accomplish what they want to do and accomplish the goals or the targets or whatever it is that you're trying to win. Okay? So there are people out there with far less than you that have accomplished way more than you, and you can look at them and say, you know what? If they can do it from the terrible, horrific past and situation that they have had and they've gotten through, then I can do it too. And that's plain and simple. That's a capital T truth, okay? You can do it. And maybe someone didn't have it worse than you, right? Maybe your situation is that bad, okay? And no one has accomplished what you wanted to do with your situation. Well, guess what? You can still be the first, okay? Make the right changes, do the right things, be confident in your abilities, understand that you're going to fail at certain things, learn from it, get better, come back, and then win. That's it. Okay, so then one day someone's using you as an example. One day someone's quoting you. One day is, someone's talking about you on a documentary of all the great things that you accomplished, even though you came from a horrific situation in your life. Wouldn't that be great? How about that story? Isn't that a great story? I like that story. Make that own story for yourself, okay? You're not your past. You're not your failures of the past. You're not your mistakes of the past. You're not the things that you've done wrong in the past. You are who you are right now. And you can look at all those things from the past. You can learn from it, get better, use it as motivation, and go out there and get what you want, okay? Plain and simple. The real failure in all of this stuff is not the person who has these little micro failures. The real failure is the person who never actually goes out there and tries to do it, is so afraid of failure that they never go out there and try to do it. The person who gets stuck at average, the person who gets stuck below average, the person who is, totally fine with the situation that they're in right now, but they'll go out and complain about it and say, oh, my life sucks. This person did this, that. I hate my life. It's so hard. The government, society, this, blah, blah, blah. And they make all these excuses, right? But they're totally fine within not trying to change anything. They're totally fine within not trying to fix things. They're totally fine within not looking outside the box, not trying to fix their attitude, not trying to have a better mindset, not trying to educate themselves, not trying to move up in their career, not trying to start that business, not trying to, go on that diet and eat healthier. Now, you see where I'm going with this? Like, people will sit there and complain about all these outside factors, right? And all these different things and make excuses instead of just making the changes that they need to do that will make them better. And I say this all the time. I don't know anyone who makes positive changes in their life all around, whether it be personal or professional or anything else, and they make all these great changes and they fix all these things in their life and they work on all this stuff for personal development and they work on all these things to be better and their life not get better. That is impossible. If you do the right things and you go out of your way to make sure that you're holding yourself accountable and you have discipline and you have consistency and you work on your personal excellence and personal development to get better, your life will get better. It will. It's inevitable, okay? So that's what you need to understand. But the real failure is looking past all that and never actually going out there and trying to do better, not working on personal excellence, not working on bettering yourself, not working on bettering the people around you, not working on better, being better at work, better at your career, better at, whatever it is, sports, if that's what you're doing, or, if you're an athlete, if you're an entrepreneur, whatever it is, if you're not constantly working on getting better, then you're going backwards. You are failing. That is not good. Okay. And look, some people get complacent. Some people get to a point, right? They get to like what they think is a mountaintop in their life, and they get to a point and they get comfortable. And that only lasts so long, because eventually people are going to catch up to you. Okay. Eventually your competition, whoever it is, it's going to catch up to you. Eventually someone out there is going to do it better than you, and whatever it is that you do is going to start to suffer. Okay, so understand that, know that, but understand the real failure are the people who never actually go out there and do it, the people who are afraid to go out there and do it. That's the real failure. So look, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the comments. I love interacting with folks. If there's something that you want me to talk about, I'd love to do that as well. But that is it, everyone. Thank you for joining. I will see you all next week.